Hey guys, and a warm welcome to the channel. To the returning subscribers, thank you so much for your unwavering support. To the newbies, if you're new here or you see my face for the first time, I'm Estelle and you're welcome. Why don't you consider subscribing and joining the family? So if you've been up to date with the news, you would have heard of someone called Kemi Badenooch, and how most people are agitated by her policies, or her policy towards immigration in the United Kingdom. So today we are going to talk about Kemi and the implications of the policy she's talking about if she comes into power or she's elected. If this is something you're interested in, why don't you stick and stay, and let's delve right into it.
Britain is our home. It's not a hotel. It's time to tell the truth on immigration and propose real plans to do something about it. I want to reduce immigration and make living here actually mean something. We need to change the way our immigration system works. So I'm announcing that the Conservative Party is going to do the following things differently. 1. If you want to stay in our country permanently and apply for indefinite leave to remain, the time you have to live here before you apply will increase from 5 years to 10 years. 2. You will have to be a net contributor with a high enough salary, especially if you want to bring family members with you. And if you've got a criminal record, you're banned. 3. If you've claimed benefits or need social housing, you can't even apply. 4. We will increase the time before you can apply for a British passport from 12 months to 5 years, meaning it will take a minimum of 15 years to start an application. 5. If you enter this country illegally or outstay your visa, you will be banned from ever gaining leave to remain or a passport. These changes, on top of a strict numerical cap on numbers, will constitute the most robust changes ever made to our immigration system. Lower numbers, secure borders, and an immigration system that finally works for the British people. This is another step in our plan to control our immigration system.
Britain is our home. It's not a hotel. Britain is our home. It's not a hotel. You guys, did you hear that? Britain is our home. It's not a hotel. So first of all, who is Kemi Badenooch? Google is your friend. So Google says, let me read to you guys. It says, Oluwakemi Oluwafunto Adekoge Badenoch, born 2nd January 1980, is a British politician who has served as the leader of the opposition and leader of the Conservative Party since November 2024. The first black person to hold those offices, Badenoch previously served in the cabinet under Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak from 2022 to 2024. She has been a member of parliament for North West Essex, previously Saffron Walden, since 2017. So yeah, that is what Google says about. That's just a brief background about Kemi. Google is your friend. If you want to know more about her, just Google her and you find out. Now to the story. Why most people are agitated by what Kemi is saying, and why they think she's not doing right by immigrants, particularly Africans. So as you might have seen from the video that just played, you notice or realize that Kemi is suggesting immigrants to wait 10 good years in the UK to spend 10 years before they are able to acquire indefinite leave to remain in the UK, compared to the current 5-year rule. I don't get it. 10 good years before they are able to attain this status. Currently, it is 5 years. Dear Kemi is also saying, before you can apply for a British passport, it's gonna take you 5 years instead of the current 12 months. What do you guys think about this extended time? She is also saying that immigrants should prove that they are net contributors to the UK economy. One thing you guys have to know is that Kemi's mother traveled to the United Kingdom and gave birth to her there. Traveled to the United Kingdom with her pregnancy and gave birth to her there. Right after giving birth to her, went back to Nigeria. So if you do not know, the United Kingdom had citizenship by birth in the early days until 1981 when it was abolished. The United Kingdom Citizenship Act put an end to the citizenship by birth at that time. She benefited because I already mentioned that she was born in 1980. So exactly a year afterwards, citizenship by birth was abolished. Now, this is the story. Kemi went back to Nigeria, lived in Nigeria for 16 years. It was until she was 16 years that she moved back to the United Kingdom as a citizen. Okay, so now the debate is that, or what is agitating most people is that you benefited from the system and you now want to put an end to it. Not even that. Now, let me take you guys back a little to colonialism in Africa, how it all started and how the slave trade began. If you guys do not know, this is just a brief history of how it all began. When the Europeans went to Africa, they gave the people gunpowder and guns and mirrors. Mirror. You know what a mirror is? Yes. Those were the items they gave to the people and changed their minds or convinced them to sell their own people to them. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm just drawing your attention to something and trying to make a correlation between what is going on with Kemi and what happened to our forefathers. Okay, so they presented mirrors and all these things. Well, they stood in front of the mirrors and they could see themselves and they thought, oh my goodness, this is magical, this is magic. And they sold their relatives, they sold their sisters, brothers to the Europeans. I don't want to say it's the same thing that is happening right now. No, I won't say that. So that was how the whites played the blacks against each other. And so they sold their relatives, they sold themselves into slavery. What am I trying to say? You, this Kemi lady, this is the system you benefited from. This is the system you benefited from. If people are saying if she had stayed in the United Kingdom from the time of birth until maybe 16 before leaving for Nigeria, then they will know that it wasn't because the parents or the mother wanted her to be a citizen. Do you understand? But as soon as she was giving birth to, they left the UK for Nigeria. Now she's trying so hard to push against the system that benefited her. If birthright citizenship was abolished before her birth, would she have been a UK citizen at this time? Would she have been a citizen of the United Kingdom at this time to even kick against the system? Well, the system itself has been abolished, but why not target illegal or undocumented immigrants? Why are you targeting migrants who are legally living and working in the United Kingdom? That's what I don't understand. Look at what is happening in the United States. President Trump is chasing away immigrants, and now Kemi is also doing same. I think it is time for Africans. I know immigrants are from different parts of the world, but I'm concerned about Africans because I'm a Ghanaian and I'm African. So that's what I'm trying to address. I think this is a clarion call for Africans, our leaders, to put the country together, to fix our country so that Africans will not be in other countries where they are being chased out like animals. Excuse my language, but so that we will not be in other countries that we are living in illegally, or we are undocumented and we are being chased out like animals. It is not right. It is not fair to us. It is not fair. So our leaders have to put their heads together, because truth be told, we have everything in Africa. Everything. The good weather, we have natural resources, and if we put our heads together, we will be a force to reckon with. We have the weather we have only 2 seasons. I think that's what works in every African country. Only 2 seasons, the dry season and then the rainy season. So rainy season and Harmattan. And even in the dry season or the Harmattan, we are able to grow crops, irrigation farming. So we can have foodstuff, or we can farm all year round. On other continents, they have several seasons. Here in America, there are 4 seasons. And when the winter comes, everything dies. You cannot grow anything unless maybe it's a greenhouse. There are various seasons where you can grow crops and then they'll do well. And these seasons are quite short, but they are still doing it. They are making it work. So what is wrong with us? What is our problem that we cannot fix our countries, we cannot fix our continent and live by ourselves and stay on our own? So back to Kemi. I don't know, but I feel she's trying to allow herself to be used, to fight her own people. Because truth be told, if any white person is holding any position in any country at all or in any jurisdiction, there is no way that white person will sit somewhere and talk about his fellow white person in that manner, kind of demeaning and degrading their race or their people. They don't do it. They will never do that. They won't do that. So I feel she's just shooting herself in the leg, allowing these people to use her against her own people. You're just making the white people know that you are willing to sell your people out without even thinking twice about it, which is not right. These immigrants in the UK, they are actually giving more to the economy than they actually take, because their visa conditions include no recourse to public funds, so they are actually, they are not taking benefits. Some of the benefits that the citizens take, they are not taking those, but they are paying taxes. So they are actually giving more than they are taking. So if anything at all, focus on the illegal or undocumented immigrants and how to prevent people migrating in without documentation. I think that's what your focus should be on. If you're targeting immigrants, I think, when she said immigrants maybe engaging in criminal acts, that's understandable. You can deal with those people, target those people, and then deal with them. But not people who are genuinely seeking for a better life, law abiding, going according to what the law expects them to go according to, doing what the law expects them to do. You don't target those people. These are mothers and fathers genuinely seeking better lives for their children. You don't target those people and make them miserable. Our African leaders have to make this make sense, because it is not adding up. And look at this vast land of goodness God has blessed us with, and then we are still having poverty in the midst of plenty. We cannot account for all the natural resources God has blessed us with because of greed and corruption and bad leadership. African leaders, make it make sense. Make it make sense that you allow your citizens, your people to find ways and means of going to other countries only to be treated like non-entities. Make it make sense. Seriously, make it make sense. So the extended citizenship thing Kemi is talking about, the negative impact is going to have on immigrants is that there's going to be uncertainty, and as uncertainty and fear of the future, because they don't know what the future holds. That's one of the negative effects it's going to have on immigrants. It's also going to be very hard for immigrants to plan long term due to the extended time of citizenship. For the economic contribution requirements, it's going to lead to increased discrimination against immigrants in the labor market. Because they don't know, most employers would not want to employ immigrants anymore. That's one of the negative effects of this thing she's trying to do. Immigrants in low-wage jobs, or those of them in temporary employment, might find it very, very difficult to meet the economic threshold she's about to set. And that's also a very huge problem on its own. One of the policies she's talking about is emphasis on integration of British values. And what is the negative implication of this particular policy? This is going to lead to cultural marginalization. It's going to force people to literally erase their cultures and try to fit into the British culture. It's going to, kind of present a form of intimidation for people to leave their cultures and try to assimilate British culture. Do you guys get what I'm trying to say? So it's going to marginalize other cultures. It's going to suppress other cultures because everyone must fit into a certain British culture. Also, I feel people are going to be discriminated against if they do not fit into this British culture or British values Kemi is trying to set. Maybe they're going to be looking at people's accents or a particular form of dressing or particular form of, you know what I mean. So it's going to cause a lot of discrimination. I hope they are looking at all these other effects than just, we don't want immigrants, or immigrants must do this, immigrants must do that. This is going to create barriers of social inclusion, particularly for those who do not fit into the Britishness, So I think it's high time they sat down and looked at all these other negative implications or repercussions of these policies that they are talking about. These are some of the things happening. I would now leave you guys to look at some of the comments from social media, what people are saying, how people are agitated by these comments. And so for those of you in the United Kingdom, if you're voting, vote wisely. Vote wisely, because I think the negative implications of these things far outweigh the positive. Well, that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Our African leaders, wake up, stop sleeping, wake up and make Africa better for us so that they will stop chasing us out like animals. We are great people. We are a great people, and we must attain that greatness. It is high time we stood up and made our country better. Bye, guys. Bye. I am so pained. I am so pained. Bye.